Hey, what's up with you guys? So today I want to talk to you about xDai, which is a new Ethereum layer 2 chain. And I'm going to show you what xDai is, how to operate it, and then how to provide liquidity into an exchange called Honeyswap, which is the leading decentralized exchange over on xDai. And then finally, how to track your investment. And by the way, find the best pools to invest in Honeyswap via liquidityfolio.com. That is an app that I guess most of you know already, but to really track and manage your liquidity when you're investing in decentralized exchanges and liquidity pools. Now, starting with xDai. Now, if you watched my last video on the Matic network, I kind of explained kind of the bigger picture in terms of the layer 2, but essentially what's happening with Ethereum is that given the traffic really on the mainnet and some of these kind of scalability issues that are being really definitely addressed with Ethereum 2.0 and different proposals, but basically the situation right now is that the gas price is pretty high, the transaction times are also pretty long. And so there's a bunch of side chains or layer 2 chains that they are kind of developing. One of them is Matic, one of them is xDai now, and many others. The idea is really to transact and to carry out the activities on a side chain which has less traffic, is less congested, and then really kind of align with the main the mainnet only at certain kind of points, and really to improve the speed, reduce a lot of the gas costs, and so on and so forth. Now, the specificity regarding xDai is that basically the idea on xDai is that the unit of value, the same way Ether is the unit of value for Ethereum, now DAI or xDai as they call it is the unit of value of the xDai chain. Now, so the unit of value in the case of xDai is really kind of a stable coin, and that's kind of the peculiarity of this chain, and I think it's very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see what happened exactly and how it develops, because I think it's a very interesting concept. Now, the same way as this works for Matic, if you want to operate on xDai, which is, by the way, very fast, very low transaction costs, is that first off, you need to, if you're using Metamask, you need to create a custom RPC, so a new network, and you can Google basically all the parameters, but you're going to click here, custom RPC. You're going to fill out the parameters for the xDai chain. This is just the first time, and then basically you're gonna essentially have right here an xDai option into your MetaMask networks. And when you configure your MetaMask on xDai, now MetaMask is operating on the xDai network. Now, this next step is really to transfer some of the assets you may have on the Ethereum mainnet into the xDai chain, and you can do that with a bridge. Same way same way this works for Matic as well. And in the case of xDai, there are two bridges. There is the xDai bridge, where basically it can only transfer DAI from the Ethereum mainnet into xDai chain. So that's only for DAI. So if you have DAI on the Ethereum, you can transfer them over onto xDai chain, and vice versa. If you have xDai on the xDai chain, you can bring them back to the Ethereum chain as DAI. So that's just for DAI. And then there is another bridge, which is called Omni Bridge, which basically works for any asset. So, for example, if you have Ether on the mainnet, you can bring them over into the xDai chain. Same way for USDC, any token. And this is, again, is bi-directional. So you can bring assets from Ethereum to to xDai chain, and then from the xDai chain back into the mainnet of Ethereum. And that's obviously very important, because it's great to be able to transact at low cost, but then you will always want to be to have the option to bring back the asset on the mainnet of Ethereum. Now, once you transfer some funds, maybe some asset onto the xDai chain, you have the option to be a liquidity provider into Honeyswap. Now, Honeyswap is one of the, I would say, the leading decentralized exchange on xDai. As you can see, the look and feel is really the same as for Uniswap, because the code has been derived from Uniswap. And so if you are familiar, if you're a liquidity provider, you've been providing liquidity to Uniswap, you're going to find the same UI, same kind of really concept. And there is also, if you click here on this triple dot button, there is also the analytics, and the analytics as well is going to be the same as for Uniswap. So liquidity in the exchange is volume. Now, as you can see, the numbers are very, very small. We're talking 11 million of liquidity right now pooled across the entire exchange. This is kind of a small pool of Uniswap these days, but the idea here is everything is very new. The exchange has been launched not very long ago, and also really layer 2 is just picking up now. So the opportunity that I thought when I decided to edit this on Liquidityfolio is also, some of you may be the first really providing liquidity into Honeyswap and also capturing some nice fees. And also they have a liquidity mining program which is not active at the moment. It will be active in just a matter of weeks. So in the same way, the Uniswap and Balancer and Curve, they have their liquidity mining program. You're going to be able to mine a token called Honey from Honeyswap, the same with the same mechanism of SushiSwap and Uniswap and so on and so forth. Now, once you decided that you want to provide liquidity into Honeyswap, you can use Liquidityfolio to really guide you in doing that. First off, when you want to decide which pool you may want to provide liquidity, you can click here on the section called Pools, and from here you're gonna find all the usual exchanges, the main exchanges, as well as some layer 2. So you see here QuickSwap on the Matic layer 2 chain, and then Honeyswap on the xDai chain. And here you're going to be able to see different liquidity of the pools, and also the APR or the APY, however you want to call it, which is the annual percentage yield, the annual percentage rate expected for different pools. When you then finally decide and really pull the trigger and invest some liquidity into the exchange, then you're going to be able to add your address right here. And you can add the address of your xDai wallet, Metamask, and then once you've done that, basically you're going to get an analysis of your liquidity that you provided. You're going to be able to see the liquidity. You're going to be able to see the fees that you're getting by the earning by providing liquidity. And then when the liquidity mining program will be available, right now it's not, but you're also going to be able a yellow component, which is the liquidity mining, basically the earnings from the minting of this token called Honey. And as usual, if you're familiar with the tool, you're also going to be able to zoom in into a specific address, and then into a specific pool where you provide the liquidity, and really see all the investments, and really track the ROI of what's going on with your Honeyswap investment. Now, I hope this kind of sheds some light in terms of getting started with xDai, and then maybe providing liquidity into Honeyswap. As usual, if you guys have any comment, feedback, thoughts regarding maybe layer 2 or really providing liquidity in general, you find my Telegram and my Twitter contacts here at the bottom of each page. So feel free to get in touch, reach out. And until next time, have a great day, guys, and talk soon.